What if the father you always dreamed of, the one who vanished without a trace, suddenly reappeared, but his return threatened to unravel the very fabric of your life and the unwavering love of the woman who raised you? Welcome, dear listeners, to Narrated by Abby, where we delve into the intricate tapestries of family, betrayal, and the enduring power of truth. Amelia's earliest memories were bathed in the soft glow of her mother's unwavering love. There was no father in the picture. Not in the traditional sense. He was a phantom, a whispered name, a faded photograph tucked away in a dusty album. Yet, despite his absence, Amelia never felt a void. Her mother, Clara, a woman of quiet strength and boundless resilience, filled every corner of their small world with warmth and affirmation. "Your father loved you very much, sweet pea," Clara would say, her voice soft, her eyes clear, whenever Amelia, as a curious toddler, would point to the empty space beside her mother in old family photos. "He just had to go away for a while, but he always knew you were loved, truly, deeply loved." Clara never spoke ill of him, not a single harsh word, not a hint of bitterness, even as she juggled 2 jobs, stretched every penny, and sacrificed her own dreams to ensure Amelia had everything she needed. Their life was a testament to perseverance, a quiet battle fought and won with dignity and grace. Amelia grew up knowing the value of hard work, the importance of integrity, and the profound depth of her mother's unspoken sacrifices. She saw the lines of fatigue etched around Clara's eyes, the calluses on her hands, and the quiet determination that fueled their every step forward. And through it all, the phantom father remained a wistful dream, a figure she imagined would one day walk back into her life. A hero returned. Years turned into decades. Amelia, with her mother's unwavering support and her own fierce ambition, blossomed. She became a visionary in the burgeoning field of sustainable technology, her innovations earning her not just prominence, but significant financial success. The small apartment they once shared was replaced by a spacious home. Clara's tired hands now rested, and the struggles of their past became distant echoes. Amelia, however, never forgot where she came from, or the woman who had made it all possible. Clara remained her anchor, her confidant, her truest friend. Then he reappeared. Like a character stepping out of a long-forgotten novel, David, her father, materialized. He was older, of course, his once boyish charm now etched with the lines of experience, but still undeniably handsome, still possessing that magnetic charisma that could disarm anyone. He approached Amelia with an air of practiced regret, a carefully constructed narrative of his absence. He spoke of a demanding career opportunity that had taken him across continents, of a cruel twist of fate that had prevented his return, and then with a sigh that seemed laden with sorrow, he dropped the bombshell. "Your mother, Amelia, she cheated on me. It broke my heart. I couldn't stay." Amelia was stunned. Her mother? Clara? The woman who embodied unwavering loyalty and quiet strength? It was unthinkable. Yet, David's story was compelling, delivered with a conviction that bordered on genuine pain. He painted a picture of a young man forced to choose between his burgeoning career and a shattered home. A man who had sacrificed his own happiness for the sake of his child, believing he was protecting her from a toxic environment. He spoke of his enduring love for Amelia, of watching her from afar, of his yearning to be a part of her life. And Clara, her mother, remained silent. She didn't defend herself, didn't refute his claims, didn't even flinch. She simply listened, her gaze distant, her expression unreadable. Amelia was torn. On one hand, her mother's integrity was beyond question. She had witnessed Clara's struggles, her sacrifices, her unwavering dedication. The idea of her mother betraying her father, especially in such a cruel manner, felt like a fundamental violation of everything she knew to be true. On the other hand, here was the father she had always longed for, the one who had walked out of her childhood dreams and into her adult reality. He was charming, articulate, and seemed genuinely remorseful. He offered a connection, a missing piece of her identity she had unknowingly yearned for. The little girl inside her, the one who had always imagined her father walking back into her life, was finally getting her wish. She found herself caught in a painful tug-of-war between her past and her present, between the woman who raised her and the man who claimed to be her origin. David, meanwhile, was smug. He moved into Amelia's life with an almost predatory confidence, offering unsolicited advice on her business, subtly inserting himself into her social circles and making grand pronouncements about their future together. He spoke of reclaiming lost time, of building a new legacy, but his eyes, Amelia noticed, often lingered on the financial statements that occasionally lay open on her desk. He was confident he was about to get his hands on a significant portion of her money, and his new family, a second wife and 2 grown children Amelia had never known about, were waiting in the wings, their own futures dependent on the success of David's grand scheme. They were not just waiting, they were actively encouraging him, their messages filled with thinly veiled excitement about the impending money well. Clara's silence, however, gnawed at Amelia. Why wouldn't she defend herself? Why let David paint her as the villain? The answer came, not from Clara, but from a chance encounter with an old family friend, a woman who had known Clara since before Amelia was born. She spoke of a secret, a youthful indiscretion, a moral failure Clara had committed in her early 20s, long before she met David. It was a mistake, a lapse in judgment, that Clara had confided in David out of trust. A vulnerability she had shared in the intimacy of their early relationship, and David, the man who claimed to love her, had held on to it, a weapon to be wielded if she ever dared to stand in his way, to expose his true nature, or to challenge his narrative. He had threatened to make it public, to destroy her reputation, to ensure Amelia would never look at her the same way. That was why Clara had remained silent. She had chosen to protect Amelia from the painful truth of her past, even at the cost of her own reputation. The realization hit Amelia with the force of a tidal wave. Her mother, the woman who had sacrificed everything for her, had been silently enduring false accusations, protecting a secret that David had weaponized. The image of the loving, remorseful father shattered, replaced by the cold, calculating manipulator he truly was. The little girl's dream of a returned hero evaporated, leaving behind a bitter taste of betrayal. Amelia confronted her mother first, her voice thick with a mixture of anger and profound sorrow. "Why, Mum? Why did you let him do this? Why didn't you tell me?" Clara, her eyes filled with unshed tears, finally revealed the full extent of David's blackmail, the fear that had silenced her for so long. Amelia, seeing the depth of her mother's sacrifice, felt a surge of fierce protectiveness. The bond between them, already strong, became unbreakable. Then she turned to David. The confrontation was not a tearful plea, but a cold, calculated dismantling of his carefully constructed facade. She laid bare his lies, his manipulations, his true motives. She spoke of his pregnant mistress, the career advancement that was merely a cover for his abandonment, and the new family waiting to feast on her wealth. David, initially smug, then defensive, finally crumbled under the weight of her unwavering gaze and the irrefutable evidence she presented. His confidence evaporated, replaced by a desperate, pathetic attempt to salvage his scheme. Amelia, with a quiet strength that mirrored her mother's, cut him off. Not just from her money, but from her life. She made it clear that he was no longer her father, that the man she had dreamed of had never existed. The prodigal father, who had returned with such confidence, was sent away, his grand scheme in ruins, his new family left to face the consequences of his failure. Amelia, with Clara by her side, emerged from the ordeal, not unscathed, but stronger, wiser, and with an even deeper appreciation for the true meaning of family, loyalty, and the unwavering power of a mother's love. The story concluded with Amelia and Clara, their bond forged in the crucible of adversity, looking towards a future built on honesty and genuine connection. Free from the shadows of the past and the manipulations of a man who had never truly understood the meaning of love or family. If this powerful story of betrayal, sacrifice, and the enduring strength of a mother's love resonated with you, then you understand the profound impact of truth. Help us continue to share these impactful narratives by giving this video a thumbs up, leaving a comment with your thoughts, and sharing it with anyone who appreciates a compelling true story. Your support helps Narrated by Abby grow and bring you more incredible content.